Hey, what's up guys? Buffalo Gamer 77 here, and in today's video, I was going to talk about the Nintendo Entertainment System and games that I played as a kid growing up. Now, as a kid growing up, I did not have a NES. I did have an Atari, and after the Atari, several years later, I got the Sega Genesis. So for me to play the NES, I had to go to my cousin's house and play it there. I had two cousins that had NESs, my cousin Jennifer, who I played Zelda at her house, and my cousin Mark, who had other games that I played at his house, like Baseball Stars, Contra, games like that. I'm going to talk about the games we played. The first game I'll talk about is Baseball Stars, since I mentioned it earlier. Baseball Stars came out in, I want to say, 1989. It's the first sports game that came out with a battery backup. Now, it had a battery backup because of this game, you can save your season and create players and upgrade your players. It had a lot of things going on in it back then. Pretty high tech back then for this game for NES. You can create teams again, like I said, and when you win a game, you earn money, and with the money that you earn, you could buy players, you could upgrade your players. It's pretty good, pretty cool game. My brother and my cousin were better than me at it because they were older than me, so they had more time to play it. Probably more experience, maybe. I'm not sure, but I was okay at it. Not the best at it, but Baseball Stars is a pretty good game. The game costs about, I want to say, $10, maybe $8. Next game is the entry-level game for me for Castlevania. This is Simon's Quest, the second Castlevania game. This game came out in 1988. This game is pretty cool. For me playing Castlevania for the first time, I didn't know much. I didn't know about the first game until after I played this game. The first game I think is better, but for me, playing this one for the first time, Simon's Quest, it was cool. You're Simon Belmont. You're in a castle. Well, you're outside to begin with, but then you go into different mansions, and you have to collect 5 Dracula body parts and the magic cross to fight Dracula. This game had a day and night mode on it, where during daytime you could do certain things, at nighttime you could do certain things, and at nighttime you took more damage when you got hit, and it took more hits to kill enemies. So it'd be kind of frustrating, being in the daytime. All of a sudden, out of nowhere it changes to nighttime. I remember being at one part that me and my cousin Mark were stuck at, didn't know what to do, and I remember being like near a river or an area where you had to kneel down, and when you kneel down, you actually go below where you were. It was real cool, real interesting, but it took forever to figure that out. We didn't have YouTube back then to figure out, if you were stuck on something, and we did not have the Nintendo Power to look it up for any type of hints or clues. This game is also made by Konami. Let's see. And next game I'll talk about here is Blades of Steel, which is made by Konami as well. Let's see. Blades of Steel came out, I want to say, 1988. It's a hockey game, obviously, and this game had 8 teams in it, 4 Canadian and 4 US teams. The 4 Canadian teams are, let's see, Edmonton, got Montreal, Vancouver, and Toronto. And for the United States teams, we had, New York, Chicago, Minnesota, and I can't remember the 4th team. Oh, Los Angeles. There you go. So there's 3 modes. I think it was Rookie, All-Star, and Rookie, Pro, and All-Star. And between intermissions, well, the first intermission going to the second period, you maybe get an ad or get to play a mini game. And I always looked forward to playing the mini game, which was like a Gradius type of mini game. To me, it was real fun playing that. Blades of Steel, you could also fight in that game. There's no offsides. It was pretty cool. You could pass the puck, shoot the puck. You control your goalie. The game, I paid $4 for it. Its price tag's right here on it. The game's not that expensive at all. I think now, even this game I bought like 2 years ago, I think it's still like a $5 game. All right, next game I played. Let's see. Let's go with this one. This game is Metroid. Metroid came out in 1987. It's an action-adventure game, open world game, which means you can go backwards or forward in the game. You get advanced, then go backtrack to do other things. Metroid is one of my favorite series for video games in general. Super Metroid is one of my favorite games of all time. So this is the entry game for Metroid, and it's hard. The main character is Samus Aran, and it took place on a planet Zebes. I don't know. In the game, you earn different power-ups. You get, start off with a normal gun, I can't think it was called. And then you can change that to like a beam, and then change it to like a freeze things. So in order to advance in the game, you have to get to a certain point where you get a power up, and then you can backtrack a little bit and get where you couldn't get before. There's doors you open, and with your beam rifle or bombs, and I don't know. The game's really cool and really fun to play. To me, the music for it is very iconic too. I played it for so many hours, so much fun. Me and my cousin Mark took turns playing it. Oh, Metroid. And next game is made by Capcom, and that game is Mega Man. Mega Man, also known as Rockman, in 1987 came out. Rockman in Japan is the same as Mega Man here, and this game was so hard. I'm trying to think of how. I don't think me and my cousin Mark even beat this game. We would take turns playing it, and I remember him playing it, me wanting him to die, so it would be my turn. And then if I would die, like quickly, I would get so upset and want to play again. But we had to go back and forth and switch turns to play it. Trying to think. Mega Man had 6 bosses. It had, let's see, had Gutsman, Fireman, Iceman, Bomb Man, Cutman, and Elecman. Cutman was cool. I remember like he had a big boomerang type of weapon to kill enemies. But after you beat the 6 bosses, you could fight Dr. Wily. Well, you had to get through the stages to fight Dr. Wily, and as a kid we didn't get that far. But as an adult, we didn't. We got there. Well, Mega Man's a great game. Yeah, Mega Man had six of them come out for Nintendo. Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Number 2 is really good. It's better than number 1. Some people say. Me, I prefer Mega Man number 1 the best. And so I want to throw in like a bonus game, a game that I did not play on Nintendo, but I played at the arcade, and that game is 1942, a shooter game. On Sundays, me, my brother, and my father would go to the bowling alley, and we're like a bowling league. And after the bowling, they had an arcade there, and in the arcade, they had games like 1942. I remember playing 10-Yard Fights. But I played 1942 a lot. I love the airplane games and the shooter games, and I still do now. Alright guys, well these are some of my childhood stories of games I played as a kid. There's more stories to tell. But for now, I just want to share with you guys these 5 games and the one arcade game. Thanks for watching my channel, guys, and watching my video. I appreciate you guys' support. Alright guys, you have a good night.